What's up, YouTube? Welcome back with another portfolio update. It's been a little while, but the portfolio is sitting at 214,655. We're up $23,000 and 605 over the past month, and that represents 12% of the account. And that's a little crazy to say that $23,000 is only 12% of the account. This thing has grown so much over the last year. I've deposited a lot of cash into this thing. If we look over here on the all-time, which I started this account back in April, pretty much 2025 on the tariff lows. And I've deposited a good bit of cash as well, and I will continue to deposit money into this account. I have $46,000 here as my cash balance right now. But today I want to talk about a couple of changes in the portfolio. We have a couple of big compelling events this week. We have Nvidia reporting on earnings. We have the PCE. We have Jackson Hole happening as well. It's Kevin Warsh's first keynote as a Fed chair coming up on the 28th as well. So a lot of stuff happening, a lot of big stuff. I sold out of three big positions, which were my software plays. I'll run you guys through why I did that. And I'm also adding 2 new positions to the portfolio. So a lot of stuff going on. Portfolio again sitting at 214. That goes 300K by the end of the year. And I'll keep adding money to this thing here, and we'll see how much money I add throughout the year until the end of it. But hopefully we see Meta turn around for us. That's my biggest bet right now. And if you guys are new here, I'm a 25-year-old growth investor, and this is my Robinhood portfolio that I'm growing to $1 million. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start with the compelling events this week. We have 4 things happening: PC, Nvidia, Jackson Hole, and there's a couple of things going on, right? Like the market's pricing in hikes. So the market's pricing in rate hikes and not cuts. I really don't think they're going to do either. I think they're going to maintain rates as they are. We saw the CPI come in, pretty flat, which is good. And the PCE is going to be a very good telling sign right here on how they're going to act for September. The PCE is the Fed's preferred method of judging inflation. So this is going to be interesting to see. And yeah, we're going to see what happens on this week. Nvidia also has huge expectations. I think I was reading they have expectations to grow 100% year over year for this quarter. So think about that. A company the size of Nvidia have expectations to grow 100%. That's insane. We'll see what happens. Nvidia always trades down on earnings. I don't know why. People just buy the rumor and sell the news with this company. I think it's a fantastic company. I don't own any Nvidia on this portfolio. But Nvidia aside, we also have a couple of positions that I sold. So I had ServiceNow, Palantir, and Zeta Global as 3 positions that I was swinging. I've been talking about how software has been undervalued, and I'm now out of those trades. And it's not because I think software is done. I just think my money is better used in different spots. So I'm actually starting a position on SanDisk and Micron through this double leveraged ETF. Since I don't have much money to play with when it comes to the swing arm of the portfolio, I'm choosing to go with double leverage right here and not necessarily options, because I don't want to be tied to a certain date for these underlyings to move. Although I think September, and honestly any of these days, this thing could flip really fast. You guys have seen 10% days for the underlines right here when it comes to SanDisk and Microns, and I really do think they're going to go back to all-time highs. So I'm building these 2 positions right here. They're currently down 10% or $400 between both. And I'll build this up to around $10,000, and I'm going to have $40,000 worth of exposure to these 2 positions right here through this double leveraged ETF. And I'm happy with that exposure. I'm happy with sizing my swing arm to around $20,000. That is around 10% of the portfolio. And maybe sometime soon it will be an even less of a percent as I keep adding money to the portfolio. And as the portfolio keeps growing, I keep having to readjust my expectations on percentages when it comes to what money I'm allocating to what. Because I'm extremely blessed to be in the opportunity that I'm in, and be able to make money like this to contribute to the account. And every 3 months, every 6 months, I'm like, holy shit, this thing has grown So much. I mean, just to give into perspective, this portfolio was a 130 or 120 at the start of the year. So pretty insane. It's almost like added $100,000 since the start of the year, and that's through gains and through contributions. And I'm extremely blessed to be in the spot that I am, like I said. But the goal is 300K by the end of the year and $1 million by December 2027. And I know it's a pretty aggressive goal, but I'm pretty delusional when it comes to my goals. But with that aside, let's talk about crypto, because this thing has ballooned this last month. Let's look at the month chart right here. We're up 26% over the last month, bringing our crypto portfolio to $20,449, almost $20,500, which honestly, I'm not shocked. You know how crypto moves? I've been in crypto for multiple years. This was actually the first asset class I started trading back when I was 18. I think a lot of us did. I'm 25, right? So it's a little bit ago now, but it was so accessible, and the moves were so volatile when I only had a couple $100s to my name. So I'm, pretty aware of how crypto moves and how this asset class, swings. And there's the 4-year market cycle that this asset class seems to trend around. And October is actually the bottom of the time frame for the end of the bear market. But as we can see, there's a lot of momentum right now with Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I'm not complaining at all. I like this asset class. I've been accumulating on the downturn. I currently own 3 Ethereum and 0.15 Bitcoin. So super happy with this. $4,300 in the bank. Not selling anytime soon. I think they're going to go back to all-time highs in the coming year or two. So this is part of the portfolio, about 10% of it. So I don't really talk about it much because it doesn't influence the broader portfolio that much. So talking about the positions that I closed, I mentioned ServiceNow, Palantir, and Zeta Global, and I had around 45% return if you were to add all 3 of those, representing around $4,500. So that was a cool win right there. And I'll show you guys ServiceNow, which was my biggest position, and how that looks. I was accumulating to this position all throughout the last couple of months because I think they were undervalued, and we've seen a lot of momentum for ServiceNow over the last month. We saw like 30% if we look at the all-time high or at the month high right here. So pretty happy with ServiceNow. We saw like this big peak right here, and this seems to be acting as a big resistance level. It's still on an upward momentum. ServiceNow is a phenomenal company, and I only sold because I think Micron and SanDisk have more potential to have more violent days and swing the portfolio a little bit higher. And that's the whole idea with the swing arm of the portfolio. I have my core positions that represent around 60 to 70% of the portfolio, which are spread out in Amazon, Meta, Google, and Microsoft. Almost forgot. But let me show you guys my buy actions and when I sold. 92% buy. If we see another drawdown for ServiceNow, I would not mind playing this again. We have a pretty big resistance level here on the 135, and if we break 135, I think we're going to fill this gap right here. Let's see what's another resistance level. 124 seems to be acting as resistance level right here. We hit 129. Let's see 135 right here and 136. So yeah, 136, 135 seems to be a level right here where there's a couple resistance points where price have touched, and we'll see. I mean, you could fill the gap all the way up to all-time highs if we see a lot of momentum for ServiceNow. Let's look at the 5-year. They had 225 back in January 2025. That's wild. I mean, softer stocks move insane. But let me show you guys how that looks here on my end when it comes to my buys and sells. And I sold 84 shares at $10,959. And around this time right here, a couple of months ago, I kept buying up and accumulating to my position when they were trading back under $100. So as you can see, $2,000 at 96, $2,000 at 95. So on and so forth back in June. So 2-month swing right here, which I'm happy. And Zeta Global and Palantir the same way. I bought Palantir at their 52-week lows. And whenever I sell a company, it doesn't mean that I don't think they're done. I think, ServiceNow could still go up. I just think that I want to allocate my money into different positions like SanDisk and Micron that I've showed to you guys right here. So this is how that looks. A little portfolio update on that sense. Robinhood has had a phenomenal couple of days, mainly because of Bitcoin and Ethereum ramping up. But the portfolio is structurally the same. I have a little bit of cash, actually a lot of cash, that I should buy something with, and I'll most likely buy some more Meta. I'm still very bullish on this company. They are getting sued for $1 trillion, and it's so overblown. It's kind of insane. But as we see momentum, kind of negative sentiment for Meta die down, I think the stock is going to be back up. I mean, we had a 2% day. If I had bought earlier today, I would have been up a good little bit already. But I'll probably buy a Leaps contract similar to the one I have. And the one I have already is down a good bit, and let me show you guys how that looks. But this is my largest position by nominal exposure, right? Because when I buy a Leaps contract, I actually have control of 90 shares for around $25,000, and I'm down 20% here on this one, which is a good little bit. But as you can see, we're back $900 on the day, or 3.7%. And a couple more green days, this position is back up into break even or even at profit. So Meta, still very bullish on this. Once I have my situation figured out when it comes to my cash and how much money I'm going to allocate to it, I will update you guys on that position as well. But that's where the portfolio is sitting right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. A little bit of a shorter video. I'm excited to be back, and I appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Leave in the comments what you think of the portfolio, and I'll talk to you guys soon.